So this is your Black Widow deck.
Just
Just played to beat Expert Kang with Temporal. What's the
right.
Temporal?
Easiest module.
Easiest
of Kang,
module for Kang. Yep.
on Expert. I think this is about as simple as you can play Justice Widow. I have the pile of 15 Widow cards. The standouts being Gauntlet is good. Obviously, it's a resource maker. Winter Soldier I think is great because he's like always 1 or 0.
Right.
And Covert Ops is extremely good. This is a very efficient thing. A lot of you get 3 for 4 in a lot of places, but this also confuses them.
Right.
And you can do it in both modes, in Alter Ego or Hero mode. Very good. So those are 15 Widow cards. I still think they're all exceptional. I'm playing the 3 resources. I'm playing both powers of Justice in this deck because I have Beat Cops, Quake, Surveillance, Spider-Man. I think it's really hard to play Spider-Man without the powers because he's so expensive.
Yeah, because your hand size is only 5, so you really can't even do it. You have to have something on board to assist with it.
And she's 6 on the backside.
Sure. So that if
you could potentially do it off, but like she has put so many permanents into play, that you thin your deck down to like good action spells all the time.
Yep.
So my basics, I have a Helicarrier, Quinn Carrier, Avengers Mansion as generic resource makers, Nick Fury because he's unfair.
He is unfair.
I love the card Espionage.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't trigger as often as I'd like, but specifically in this deck, because you have the Spycrafts, to cycle the cards, you can hit the Surge more effectively.
Right.
And as I figured out in this game, I shouldn't just leave these in play. You should crack these almost all the time, just to crack them to do the damage off the Widow side or whatever.
Because you did shuffle like 6 times in this game.
More than that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like at the end, it just didn't matter. We were gonna win, but But yeah, I shuffled a lot. He also had the thing that like milled me for 8.
Right,
that
twice.
You shuffle.
You got that twice.
Yeah. But so I think Spider-Man's really good in multiplayer. Obviously, he gets better the more players there are.
Right.
Which is a giant man.
And I think to have a 2/2/4 for 5 that can remove 3 threat even in solo, he's probably a pretty good ally.
He's okay. I mean, in solo, I would compare him to Falcon.
Yeah.
Who I think removes about the same amount of threat.
Well, maybe. I mean, like, Falcon only looks at 3 cards, unless all 3 are treacheries. Otherwise, I think Falcon probably averages out at 2.
Right, but he's a resource less, and he's a hit point less. But I don't know. I've grown on Spider-Man. When they first printed him, I thought he was so bad because he cost 5.
Mm-hmm.
But I've grown on him just because he's a huge burst of threat removal.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the Quake. I just love 2-cost allies. I think allies that cost 2 are just OP. If they print one that costs 1, it'll be the best card in the game.
Yep.
And she has a reasonable effect.
I think they're doing that with Multiple Man.
I do love me some Multiple Man.
And he's a 1 cost that you fetch. Every time you play 1, you fetch another one. And there's 3 in the deck. So you can fetch out and make 3 Multiple Men in one turn. I don't know what you're gonna do with them, but
well, just having guys is good usually.
Yeah. I think he's in protection too, if I remember correctly.
Oh, that's too bad.
Well,
I mean, all you want to do is play strength in numbers. How insane would that be? Like Multiple Man with strength in numbers would be outrageous.
Yeah.
So look for my Spider-Girl deck coming out as soon as they print that guy.
Yeah.
You get to play both sides.
It would make sense.
So I played a Skilled Investigator. I think this card's pretty strong. It turned out to not be super great in this because there weren't as many side schemes.
Mm-hmm. I think that would be really, really good in Red Skull, like when we were fighting Red Skull.
Yeah, I had it. I had 2 of them in my Red Skull deck because I gave 1 to you even.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's great there. It's good against Kang. It's insane in the Wreckers.
Yeah. I mean, Wreckers is pretty solid.
I played a single Under Surveillance. This is a card that I've grown on. Only 1 because you can only attach 1 at a time, but it just like essentially gains you 4 threat.
Right.
For 2. I was trying out this Clear the Area card.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
For 1 cost, it seemed alright.
It's fine. It's only good if you actually get it to cycle.
Sure.
If you're not drawing a card off it, it seems really bad.
Sure. So it might reduce the count down a little bit. for something else.
I mean,
Seems like
this
you
could
play
be
Coulson
whatever.
or Jessica. I mean Jessica Drew and side scheme heavy and cut the clear like
Jessica Drew.
Not Jessica Drew.
She's also a good investigator, though.
She is. You're right. Well, who am I thinking of?
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones. Thank you.
Close
Jeez.
though.
Don't Jiminy Cricket me today, okay?
So these can kind of be anything. If you're looking at building a deck similar to this, I think this card's fine. He's right. Yeah. I could play a Jessica Jones. The Spycrafts are great because they're preparations for her, both sides of her abilities. She's a spy character, so you can always play it, and it has a great effect.
Yep.
Very impactful. And Beat Cop is great. I mean, we saw it remove 30-somethings over the course of the game and kill 3 giant guys.
Right. I think it's got to be hands down one of the best Justice cards. Just because it's never
it's way up there. I think this is really, really good.
Sure.
Anytime you can play it, it's really good.
It's not as good without Widow, right? I mean, like Widow.
Well, Widow or Spider Girl, because you have to have the spy tag.
Right.
Obviously it's extra good with Widow because she cares about the preparation tag, but
right.
Widow or Spider Girl or Spider Woman, I guess, that have the spy on your identity. Like, I think this card's great.
Sure.
It's even okay if you have the Coulson because you can fish it up and Coulson's a spy.
Right.
But yeah, so I think it's pretty generic. I mean, there's nothing.
It'll get better with more spies printed in the game, without a doubt.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
But the so yeah, I think it's pretty basic. Like, there's nothing crazy techie going on, but it was very efficient. And even though like its damage output is low, like if you were trying to play a deck like this solo mode, you would need like some kind of damage thing,
right?
Because right now the only sources of damage are like Spider-Man and Winter Soldier and attacking, and the generic Widow 6 thing.
Yeah.
But
I think the deck would get overwhelmed potentially by like somebody like an Ultron that's going to put a lot of guys into play.
Well, specifically Ultron, I think she's good against because she has a lot of single sources of 1 damage.
Sure, that's true.
But like Zola or whatever we saw made a bunch of big minions.
Right.
That would be hard.
Yep.
Because she also has her damage spell is like deal 1, deal 2, deal 3. So she can take out like a bunch of little guys pretty good.
I guess she does have a way to really spread damage around the table pretty effectively. So that's probably true.
In overall, like the damage output of this deck was low, but still functional.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to play this solo, like maybe the clear the areas become some kind of damagey thing, but overall it functioned exactly like I wanted it to for today's video. And I thought Kang was super fun.
Yeah, I thought Kang was awesome.